from the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
Me, Ollie.
And me, Dan.
And me, Ben.
So, in this slightly later and slightly longer episode than usual, the four of us are going to be reviewing the second month to the season. How are we, lads? Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah, not bad, thanks, Jake. Very busy at the minute.
Yeah, you keep telling me.
Very busy. Always got time for Peony, though.
Yeah, settling into work all right? Working life?
Yeah.
Good.
So I've seen every Peony game in September, so I'll be a bit of use on this podcast.
Oh, good.
That's handy.
Yeah.
How are you, Dan? You good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Still slowly moving in, but we're almost there now.
Settling in as well?
Yeah.
Good. And second fan guest on the pod. Ben, how are you?
Feels like a privilege. Yeah, I'm good. Preston doing well at the moment. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know Ben, you may know him on Twitter as, is it PNE Ben HD?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and probably more of you will know him on YouTube. How many subscribers is it?
I think we're nearly at 23,000 now. We're getting there.
That's bad. When I used to watch you were on like 3,000, maybe 4.
Yeah.
That's like the whole of Deepdale listening to like a video.
I know, yeah, that's crazy.
Mad.
That's crazy.
That's more than the City game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
capacity of Deepdale.
Yeah.
Good going. How long have you been doing it?
It'll have been like 3 or 4 years now, something like that.
Mm.
Mostly looking into like championship content and stuff like that, but yeah.
We were talking before, weren't we, Ben? We started doing YouTube at a very similar time. I was doing absolute dog shit content, and you were doing pretty good. And then I went to college and stopped, and you've carried on and made a good thing out of it.
Yeah, but you were the original Preston YouTubers on the scene. You were the inspiration for it.
Well, it was me and my mate Ryan. We started.
Careful, Ben. His head will get a bit big.
we started one together, and it went all right for a little bit, but then we both sort of went our separate ways because he was from Cumbria, so we couldn't really go to games together that often.
Decent.
Nice little
Happy days.
boost over there, lads.
Yeah, and I'm back off my honeymoon.
You're back on honeymoon.
You are?
You timed your honeymoon at the worst possible time.
Yeah, I missed the City game, didn't I? We'll
Especially
come on to that in a bit, though.
Especially going with Thomas Cook.
Yeah. Anyway, start of the season. It's been good so far. 6 games unbeaten. In the league, 6 games unbeaten. I think we're the joint highest scorers in the league with West Brom, and we've got the second highest goal difference as well behind Leeds United. It's pretty decent start, I'd say.
Yeah.
I weren't concerned after. I think we lost 2 of the first 3 games, didn't we?
Yeah, Millwall and
Swansea.
Swansea, yeah.
Even in those games, played quite well. 2 tough away games. But we've played well all season.
Well, I think
Results.
was yesterday it was the first time at home, I know that, but I think it was the second time all season we've gone behind.
Yeah. I think we went behind at Millwall, didn't we? And then yesterday.
Yeah, so second game.
Yeah. That's obviously, Alex Neil stresses the importance of the first goal a lot. I think last season we didn't concede in the first 15 minutes until like April.
Just pretty good going.
And yeah, we've started games well, and we've been seeing games out quite well.
Yeah. It feels a little bit, to me anyway, like things are just starting to drop into place for us now.
We've got the right components of a full squad for the first time in a while, because we've like lost players in important positions at a certain time. But now we've got Maguire back to form. We're not missing Hugill quite as much as we were last year when Maguire was spending a lot of time out injured. I know they're very different players, but I mean, we've got a striker.
I know what you're saying.
It just seems like we're best placed now as we've ever been.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, it's hard to be anything other than happy with how we started. I mean, took a little bit of a while to get going away from home. I mean, they were difficult games, Millwall and Swansea particularly. But
Yeah, I think the one thing about Swansea though is, by all accounts, obviously we took the lead, but then by all accounts in the first half we should have maybe had one or two more, and then the timing of their goal just before half time is just massively unfortunate. I think.
If you look at Swansea as well, Swansea and we've played Forest away. I think they're both in the top 3.
Yeah.
They were 2 tough games. Millwall's always quite.
Forest in the top 3 now.
They're fourth. Yeah.
In the 3rd, are they?
Are they third?
Yeah. So tough games.
West Brom, Swansea, Forest. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday night's another good chance to get points on the board away from home.
Yeah, definitely is. They're not in a good run of form at the minute, Borough. 1-1 in the last 5.
Yeah, I think they got beat 4-1 at the weekend as well at home. So we could consolidate an early top 6 place after 10 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
Well, that's the point as well, isn't it? That most people sort of benchmark the start to the season. So I mean, we could again, results go our way on Tuesday night. We could see ourselves top of the table.
Yeah, I think it's important to. I mean, top of the table's always going to be the main goal to shoot for, but if we can consolidate ourselves as part of that top 4 pack that breaks away.
Yeah, I think even that sort of top 8 pack.
Yeah,
I'd say even that sort of top 8, 9, because there's always.
Me being over-ambitious again.
Yeah, considering you had us down to finish 11th in our predictions.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You detailed digest and Preston updates, or went with 11th?
I think I was suffering from a little bit of transfer window inertia at that point.
I don't think you were the only one, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I think I had us lower than 11th in my prediction, to be honest.
Really?
I think after the transfer window and stuff, I just pre-season I just wasn't really feeling it. But yeah, I've been surprised by how well we started. I think we've done really well.
It's always nice to be pleasantly surprised, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit of an air of negativity around after the transfer window, us included.
I think was it our 3rd podcast was just miserable.
I think it was a bit more than 3rd, but either way, it was whichever. There was 2 or 3, I think, around the end of the transfer window that we weren't happy, were we?
Yeah.
I still think failing to sign a keeper, like obviously yesterday, you can argue whether a couple of the goals were Rudd's fault, but I still think in the long term, that's still an issue for me. But
yeah, no, I agree.
The keeper coach seems to have coincided with a bit of an upturn in form from Rudd.
I don't think any of the goals yesterday were outwardly his fault, but I think he could have done a lot better.
It was clearly a weakness that Lee Johnson had
identified. Yeah.
So, but all season, because Bauer's come in, we've defended the box a lot better. Apart from Swansea away, I think Swansea away scored 3 goals from crosses into the box, and obviously yesterday. But apart from that, generally defended quite well. I don't think many teams will have conceded less, even after yesterday.
Well, we've conceded 10.
Yeah, 10 in 9 games.
Swansea, Forest, Leeds, Charlton, Sheff Wednesday, Fulham and Brentford have all conceded less, so not many.
So about
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides have conceded less than us in the league.
Yeah. So now the balance seems to be quite good at the minute.
Yeah, and people have. It's not been something that's been missed, but people have been saying how well Rafferty's fitted in at left back, and I think again that's credit to him and credit to the manager. I think it's right. I think I would be right in saying that a lot of fans, myself included, were panicking a little bit not panicking, but a little bit annoyed that Earl had been let go. We didn't manage to sign a replacement after being linked with Max Lowe for
It was a potential problem. I think we identified as soon as Earl went out on loan. I think we said
Yeah.
that if Hughes gets injured, we're in trouble. But Rafferty's really stepped up.
No, it has credit to him. I think if you remember, it was either I think it was the Millwall game. He was lucky not to have been sent off, Hughes. And I think that the podcast that we did after that, I think we were saying then, if that happens or if he gets injured, we're in a spot of bother. And then obviously next game, I remember you mentioned something on Facebook, Dan, saying, I'm sure Hughes pulled up at the end. And I was like, nah, I didn't say it. Never happened.
It was the Wigan game. We were 3-0 up.
Yeah, it was toward the end, wasn't it?
And Hughes just made this amazing lung-busting overlapping run in the 94th minute and then pulled up just as the whistle went. And I thought, oh dear.
Who did he come in against? Who did Hughes play against last? Was it Birmingham? Did he come in at Birmingham?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a reoccurrence or what, but Rafferty's done all right for me. I think people have been going a bit overboard tactically. He's still, I think Bristol got a lot of joy between Davis and Rafferty yesterday because Rafferty kept getting pulled wide onto the wing back.
I think
but he's done all right. Yeah,
I think the reaction to Rafferty. I mean, obviously there are going to be weaknesses to his game. He's a very right-sided player playing on the left. He's been a League One player for most of
the majority of his career.
Yeah. And it's going to be a learning curve for him. But I think the praise, I wouldn't necessarily call it out of proportion. It's just coming from a place of appreciating what we thought were his capabilities and how well he's done to actually step up to the level that he has done.
Yeah, I think that's the case, isn't it? It's our perceived level of him and where he's actually the level that he's actually performed to recently, because arguably you could say he's performing above his station.
Yeah. And quite comfortably out of position as well.
Yeah.
You are.
And quite well out of position as well.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. But yeah, anyway, let's crack on with the 4 games. So obviously the month started with Brentford at home. For me, it was a little bit of an odd one. I thought we never fully looked at it, but obviously we came away with the 3 points. Tactically, I think it was certainly an enjoyable watch, as I'm sure Ollie will go into.
It was that long ago, I can't remember, but I just remember being excited by the touch.
You don't remember the message you sent me after about 2 minutes?
What was it?
Do you want me to tell you?
I can't remember what it was.
I can.
What was it?
You messaged me saying this has got me tactically erect.
That was it. I think they played a back 3.
Yeah, it was.
It was just very interesting tactically, but the overriding memory from that game is how quick we started. I think we had 3 or 4 corners in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, Shawnee got the goal after 4, and I think that helped us settle down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we clearly targeted them from set pieces.
Yeah.
I think this probably a big part of the tactical performance, but defensively it was probably the most solid I've seen us for a long time, the Brentford game. And that's what made it weird, because Brentford played some good football, but they didn't look like they threatened us at any particular moment. I mean, there were a few where they almost got in behind, but their players miscontrolled it. Or
I think Maguire got in behind Rafferty twice in the first half.
Yeah. That was that one that he ran out of play right in front of me, which was.
I think there was 2 similar out to in runs that got us in behind, but that was a very good performance because they always score goals. Brentford, I think they won 3-1 today.
Yeah, they just beat Barnsley 3-1, didn't they? Ollie Watkins scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
They're a very good team, but yeah, that was probably the first example of the season of a proper tactical performance.
And it looked comfortable.
Where we did a job.
It did. Did look comfortable, definitely.
Who scored a second in that game?
Barkey.
Yeah.
Fisher got in behind, didn't he, and put the ball across. It
was probably the only game we've won this season at home that I've not been on the edge of my seat towards the end. Do you know what I mean?
No, we actually battered Wigan, didn't we, at home?
Oh yeah, there was that one as well.
Yeah, we battered Wigan, but yeah, that was, we saw it out well, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Good to get a win against Brentford because they're always a good side.
They're always good games as well, especially in recent memory when we've both been up in the Championship. I've always found them good to watch.
That was a low scorer between us and Brentford, a 2-0.
Yeah. I think. Was it?
4-3 last year.
I'm sure I put something in my preview, or I think it was in the preview that I did for that. That between games between us and Brentford averaged something like 3.6 goals a game or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Because weren't we 3-0 up after like 20 minutes last season, I swear?
Yeah, 3-0, and then they got one back, didn't they, with an absolute screamer.
Sergio Canos.
Did they not get back to 3-2?
About that goal.
They
brought it back to 3-2. They brought it back to 3-2. Ollie Watkins scored, and then Callum Robinson scored his second to make it 4-3, and then they scored from a set piece, or 4-2, and then they scored from a corner to make it 4-3.
Yeah,
very uncomfortable game. But
I think as well for the Brentford game, because obviously we didn't have Pearson for that either, and that was like a major downfall for us last season, not being able to pick up points while Pearson's in the side. Obviously Ledson came and got the assist for the first goal, and I thought Fisher played really well for that as well.
Yeah,
obviously they play with the wing backs. I think he had Ben Rama and Rico Henry overlapping, and there was no like real issues down that side that game. I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it a few times already this season, Ollie, but Fisher, and I agree with you, has turned into he's a very competent, solid full-back at this level. Considering the rep that he came in with from Rotherham. I honestly don't remember us making a transfer with a reception from from the team that he was leaving's fans, like that one with Fisher. Normally it's you get fans wishing the player well, or
it was very stark to have Charlton fans talk about Bauer.
Yeah. I saw a Charlton fan the other day saying, "I'm not acknowledging that he's a North End player. He still plays for us." I was like, "Fucking hell, come on."
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's one of the best right backs in the league, Fisher.
His numbers were up there last
year.
Yeah, just everything about his game. The only thing is yellow cards. I think he's on 4 yellow cards already.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Another game yesterday for Pearson without a yellow card.
Yeah, Pearson's...
It's the article I wrote. It's calmed him right down.
What's got into it? Probably all
if you'd put it out 4 games ago, Dan, I'd agree with you, but let's have this conversation in another 4 games.
I do. On Pearson, I think he is holding back a bit. Physically.
Yeah, no, I think he is.
Something that I've noticed. Unless because he come back from the virus, didn't he?
2 games ago.
Yeah, and then he missed the City game, and then he played yesterday. I think he's might still not be 100%, but he's controlling himself well. And
I think it was yesterday that either he made a foul or someone made a foul on one of the Bristol City players. The ref didn't give anything. The Bristol City player started kicking off, and Pearson just kind of walked past and just patted him as if to say, like, come on, get on with it. Yeah. And you could construe that as him trying to wind the player up, but I saw it and I just thought that, to me, is like it's him showing a bit more sportsmanship.
It's very different. If he was trying to wind him up, it's much more passive aggressive than you used to see him from Pearson.
It's like, but yeah, if you've not already read Dan's piece, it's on the website. So go and check that out. It's a good read. After much editing back and forward between myself and Dan while I was in Mexico, 6 hours behind, but we got there in the end.
It was quite awkward time, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So on to Birmingham away. As I've already mentioned, I was in Mexico and I watched it on iFollow, and I had a lot of sun on the holiday. I've drunk a lot of booze since, so I can't really remember all too much. But Sean Maguire getting the goal again. Came at a good time, just before half time, sort of 5-6 minutes before half time.
That was another unbelievable game tactically.
Yeah.
We had Pearson and Galley was playing as a fullbacks in possession. That was Hughes' first game back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hughes came back. and Fisher pushed right on, and then we had the free in behind Barkey, like in the middle, and it just worked well. Should have been more than 1-0 at half time. Should have probably been 2-3 now. I think it was Galley's free kick when it hit the post.
Yeah, it was a great free kick. The keeper has actually pulled off a great save there, and Maguire's just.
I didn't think he got a hand on it.
Yeah, I think got a little touch.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
was it Barkey that won it as well? Barkey.
I think it was Harrop or Barkey. It was one of them where Galley put it on the ball. Because they played two in centre mid.
That won the free kick. I'm pretty sure it was Maguire.
Was it? It was someone on the half turn, like from a tactical setup, and it worked perfectly. It might have been Maguire actually.
I think you could be right with that, Dan.
And then obviously I think they came back into it second half quite well.
Rightly offside though with their goal.
Yeah, good offside, wasn't it?
Well,
they would have cleared that right off.
Yeah, but yeah, saw that game out well, and I think that was the first away win, weren't it?
Yeah.
Did we lose? I think we lost like 6 in a row, and then drew at Forest.
Yeah.
And then got the win at Birmingham. So
a nice little build up to it, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's always a tough place to go as well, St Andrews.
Yeah, it's a horrible atmosphere.
Much better than last season. We got beat 3-0, didn't we? And Rudd obviously dropped.
I'm actually glad we played at St Andrews quite early this season, because with Coventry playing their home games as well, that pitch is going to get a battering, because it's a pitch that cuts up quite badly normally. When I've seen it towards the end of the season, it's usually in quite a bad state. So I'm quite glad that game's out of the way, actually.
I am, just because it's Birmingham. They're just a team that I hate us playing. Don't know. As long as I've supported North End, we rarely have good times away at Birmingham. In fact, apart from the other day,
I've only been once, and it was one of the best away games I've been to. I think it was 3-1.
Oh, when
Hugill scored.
Scored.
We were just taking the piss second half there.
Yeah, it was was it last season? No, season before, wasn't it?
Well, Harry Redknapp got sacked after the game.
Yeah, early on again, that one.
Yeah,
It was around 8-10 games.
It was because we were pushing playoffs then as well.
It might have been earlier. I think it might have still been in August. Or
It
maybe
was
start of September.
Sure, I remember it was in the summer holidays, because me and my girlfriend were at Blackpool Pleasure Beach that day.
Oh, yeah. Why?
We go there quite a lot, but I remember getting on, being in the queue for infusion at 1-1 and coming off, and we were 3-1 up.
Mate, that's a fucking weird memory, that.
I like my brain can't retain useful information, but
fucking hell, Dan, you crack me up.
Ask me something random happened to North End a couple of years ago, like goal scorers in a game, what minute they scored in. It's just there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I think if you just comparing it to that game, how different we are now to 2 years ago is crazy. Because we just completely controlled that game. Like, the tactical concepts were so developed, and Birmingham just couldn't live with us tactically.
And to think how well we did that season anyway.
Yeah, came 7th, didn't we?
Ended up finishing 7th, missed out on the playoffs by 2 points.
Yeah.
You know, you definitely say that the core of the squad that we've got now that we had then has grown and developed as players. The manager almost certainly has. So yeah, early doors. It's not looking too bad. So final bit then before the break. Obviously, there was the Man City game at home on Tuesday night. I was, again, away for it, so I'll let you three take the lead on this one, but it was good fun to see the GOAT at Deepdale on TV.
Yeah.
Ollie's bold dad.
Pep Guardiola or Raheem Sterling?
Nah, Ollie's bold dad.
Oh, Pep Guardiola, yeah. It was the best night of my life at Deepdale.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I managed to leave work at 3:30. I was at Deepdale for 6.
Early doors. I'm surprised you didn't get a selfie.
I got there quite
I was
early.
too scared. Because Pep came to my uni last year to do a talk at uni. And I thought he might recognise me and think I was a stalker. So I just kept my distance. But
I can understand why.
Before mentioning P&E, just seeing Raheem Sterling live, like, is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
I agree.
it's mental how different it is to seeing it on TV.
Isn't it mad? Like,
Yeah.
the movement is crazy. And to be fair, we played all right. Like,
Yeah,
it's hard to lay a glove on City.
Yeah.
Control games, but
I think first half we played better.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just a bit disappointed with the lineup before, but in hindsight, probably quite sensible.
Yeah, me and you had a little moan to each other, didn't we, Ollie, about how we thought he'd have gone a bit stronger. But yeah, I think you've got to give someone like Ryan Ledson the opportunity because he's done well in the 2 games that he's played in the cup. So you can understand him not going with Pearson, plus the fact that he's just come back from the virus.
You know what?
Picking up points in the league is arguably more.
Fearing the worst for Ledson after about 20 minutes because he was literally on his arse. But he got through the game quite well.
Yeah.
To be fair. But yeah, when you see Man City live, like, Dan's right. Seeing him on TV just doesn't do him justice. So
yeah, and
they're just unbelievable team.
Yeah, I mean, I've never once in 15 years of watching Preston at Deepdale seen a player turn into space in the centre circle and say, "Well, that's 1-0." As soon as Sterling turned Fisher for that first goal, I was like, "He's running through and scoring here."
Yeah.
He was unreal. He was.
Go and watch that back, yeah, and see Raheem Sterling take the position. He doesn't sprint away from Fisher. He like drags Fisher into the middle and then turns him.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just elite coaching from the best coach in the world.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I thought Ben Davies managed to get a good block on that. It just went over Ripley. But
it was one of them where it sort of went under and bounced and came up.
Yeah. I think my main point about this game was that we can't really judge the players on a game that's such an anomaly because as we've said, the Man City players are so unreal. To for example, judge Fisher and Rafferty on their games when they were marking the best English winger of the last 20 years and Bernardo Silva, who, I mean,
you might get a bit of stick for that on Twitter, Dan. I'd prepare yourself.
I'd like to hear somebody say who's better.
No, so would I. I don't disagree with you.
I'd say Raheem Sterling's probably the best player I've ever seen live.
I've seen Messi, so I can't say that.
Well, I haven't.
Yeah, I've not seen Messi, but I've seen De Bruyne.
See, that was the only thing that disappointed me about Tuesday was that I said to my fiance as I left, I said I just hope Man City play De Bruyne because I'd love to see him. But
I've seen City 4 times now under Pep, and I've never seen De Bruyne play. But so anyone listening, I know it's a P&E podcast, yeah, but just go and watch Pep Guardiola's Man City team before he leaves because they're just the best team in the world. So,
yeah.
But I thought we equipped ourselves well in general.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see people like getting behind the team as well, even though we're 3-0 down.
It was just a positive game, wasn't it? I mean, I said before, I was like, as long as we don't concede 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't even get halfway to that. So
yeah, exactly. We
clean sheet in the second half as well.
We did more than twice as well as Watford. As Ollie said, we drew the second half. Came away from the game avoiding an embarrassment.
Humiliation,
yeah.
Heads held relatively high.
Yeah, no, seeing City live, it's just a different thing. But I thought we did pretty well. Like first 10 minutes, I think Harrop had a chance. I think a header, which he just couldn't quite get to. But I thought he had some decent touches going forward. Midfield looked decent, and we actually tried to play football against them. It was, especially in the first half, it wasn't as if we just like sat back and thought, try and break us down. We actually tried and did something.
It was admirable.
Yeah, it was.
There was actually a moment in the first minute where we put a cross in. It didn't look like I sit at the other end of the ground nearly, but it didn't look like we were too far away, and I couldn't help but think, if Stockley had been in.
Oh yeah, I thought it was in. Yeah, I thought it was going in from where I was.
Stockley was in the team. He'd still be in the fucking centre circle, lads. So,
Yeah, and then there was another ball in. Was it from Alan Brown that was flashed across goal?
yeah, that was a great.
Josh Harrop hit the post as well, second half.
And then Harrop at the post second half.
And Barky got through on goal, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
You what, Ollie?
Barky had that little one-on-one. Well, it was like half a one-on-one.
Yeah, where he got clean and then.
Oh yeah, end of the first half. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gutted for Harrop when he hit the beans. You know, I was so gutted for him.
He's another one who's probably in August he wasn't too involved. I don't think, was he? But he's come into it this month.
Well, even though he wasn't too involved, I think the games that he did play, he had something like a three goals in 4 appearances, or 3 goals in 5 appearances, or 2 goals and an assist, or whatever it was. Which, for someone who wasn't, like you said, massively involved, he was pretty bit part. He's not too bad. I mean, he's, like you said, he's getting more involved now, and you could argue that his goal involvements haven't been up there, if you will. But we're still picking up points. He's still playing well overall, I would say, even though, and we'll come on to it after the break, but even though yesterday was probably his quietest performance, I think. But yeah, I think the other thing about the City game for me was, I think you could argue Pep Guardiola respected us with the team that he put out as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, apart from the centre backs, it's the team that would win every Premier League game for them.
Yeah, well, I think it was Mourinho that said
centre backs probably had a decent time in the Prem.
Mate, that centre back, what was his name?
Harwood Bellis.
Mate, he looks mad. He looks absolutely crazy. I've seen Garcia before, but I think what was it, Harwood Bellis?
Yeah, I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, but he looks. I think that was his debut.
Yeah, it was.
He looks. I've never seen I think he's 18 as well, and he looks. It was class.
There was a moment first half where he just plucked the ball out of the air, dribbled into midfield. I thought.
Yeah, but yeah, other than the 2 centre backs and maybe Bravo, but Bravo's quite clearly the cup keeper. It was a pretty solid team.
I think
Jesus, Sterling, Silva.
Yeah, I think all the back 4 were making the first starts, which is quite strange.
Yeah, Cancelo was first.
Angelino left back, Cancelo, Harwood Bellis, and then Garcia. So,
but I mean, Cancelo and Angelino are pretty well respected fullbacks in European football.
Yeah, like Angelino started at City, didn't he? And then he left.
Yeah.
No, they sold him and included a buyback clause, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was nice to see from a general football fan perspective, Benjamin Mendy get back on the pitch.
Yeah, putting a good cross as well towards the end.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And when you see these players in the Premier League, it's not just like the physicality is so much higher as well. Like on TV, you don't really realise as much, but they're absolute. They're like.
For me, watching on TV, it certainly came through. You could definitely tell that we looked maybe a level below, 2 levels below where they were. And that's not criticising.
There's no shame in that. There's Premier League teams that are 2 levels below what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Premier League sides that will stay up as well.
Maybe not Watford, but
no, I'm probably talking about teams like Brighton. And,
yeah,
stay up, but.
It was just like a good experience for like Ben Davis. Showing that he's not out of his depth against kind of players. I thought DJ did well.
DJ played really well.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with him. As I have been all season, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been good.
But yeah, unless anyone's got anything else to add.
I'll just say, all that I'd say is to see probably about 15,000 PNE fans clapping Raheem Sterling off.
Yeah.
They're just absolute class.
Yeah, as I said in my piece after the game.
Even though he divides opinion, well, I don't know if he still does, but he probably does.
I think after the press sort of simultaneously decided to try and make him a bit of a scapegoat last year.
It was weird that, because it was like half the press were trying to scapegoat him and the other half were sticking up for him.
I think fans sort of united behind him after that.
But there used to be a debate about how good he is at football as well.
Yeah. But I mean, he's shut that up himself in the last year.
Yeah. So that was good. And then he gave us a little tweet after the game, which made my year.
I've not seen that. What did he say?
Just said good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
And him and DJ swapped shirts.
Yeah, I was trying to see what the link was. I can't see anything.
I think they were both born in Jamaica, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they probably are aware of each other, having come through, and probably both moved over here when they were young.
Yeah.
All that sort of shit.
Well, yeah, it was a good test.
Yeah, and just finally on that Sterling thing, for anyone that thinks it's an issue that he was clapped off, it's really not that deep.
It'd be immature not to, if anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, unless anyone's got anything else to add after that, then we can call that part one.
Sound.
Sweet. Cheers, boys. I'll go and get a brew and we'll come back.
Nice one.
Brilliant. So welcome back to part 2 of the From the Finney podcast. In this part of the pod, we're going to talk about the Bristol City game yesterday, and we're also going to give a little mention to some of our standout performers from this season to date. So, yeah, Bristol City yesterday, I think, simply put, it was a brilliant game of football, to be honest. For me, anyway.
I'd probably the word I'd use is probably more exciting than good.
No, it was a good game of football, I thought.
I just don't think there was a lot of quality from either side. The
first thing I'd say before I'd say anything is just the weather made the game what it was.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not saying anyone's particularly to blame for that, but yeah.
It was a typical game that you get when the weather's fucked.
Yeah.
And it was just one of them weird games. I don't think it was like a great game from like obviously from a technical point of view, but I agree with you, Dan. It was more like exciting because
it would have been great if you were neutral.
Yeah, if you're neutral,
yeah.
I just came off and I was happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been something to do with the fact that I'd had like an hour and a half sleep in nearly 27 hours, but it made me feel good. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I think it was that we equalised twice rather than were pegged back twice. It always feels a little bit better.
It felt a little bit to me like a lot of home games last season where we're pretty comfortable in the game, but as soon as they get a set piece, you're shitting yourself. Because obviously Brownhill's one of the best set piece takers in the league, I think.
Yeah.
His quality is unbelievable.
Both from shooting and crossing, he's got great quality, and I think obviously they played with a back three big centre backs, all quite good in the air.
I didn't want to put. I don't know if this is a negative spin per se, but yesterday did feel a little bit like a regression, certainly from this season in terms of what we were like last season. Yesterday felt a lot more like the sort of game that we would have had last year.
Yeah, I thought yesterday it felt like last season.
Yeah.
It felt like one of those games, but I think obviously Lee Johnson had targeted Declan Rudge. That was clear.
Big time.
And that was obvious because I don't know why more coaches haven't targeted him, but I'm pretty sure that's just a one-off yesterday.
Yeah, I mean,
the weather doesn't sound important, but I think you can just put it. It adds to the drama of the game. The weather.
Yeah, it does. And yesterday there was so many what looked like overhit passes and heavy touches that I don't think were. It was no coincidence that was happening, and it was absolutely pissing it down for the vast majority of the game.
Well, sometimes the ball was skidding off, and sometimes it was holding up. So
yeah, I was going to say in the second half it got to the point where it looked like it was just the pitch was just starting to hold water.
Yeah.
as
I
opposed
was
to
a
it
bit
being.
concerned. Yeah, I was a bit concerned in the second half.
Do you want to go into the tactical side of things as you do, Ollie? Or
Yeah, like obviously they started. Well, they've been using a back four and a back three, but they went with the back three. Ashley Williams in the middle, Baker and Taylor Moore wider, and then the wing backs who were both quite athletic wing backs.
yeah, they both stood out to me yesterday.
Jack Hunt in particular, I thought was very good yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they obviously went with like a 2 and a 1 in midfield. Casey Palmer, Brownhill, and who else is in midfield?
Masengo.
Oh yeah, little French lad. And then I thought they would have gone with Jeju up front from the start.
He's just come back from injury though, hasn't he? I think.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously they went 2 up. Well, they went 2 up with Vyman like drifting about a bit more. But when you think of Brentford's back three and Bristol's, like quite different in the fact that Bristol's back three was basically to stop us attacking.
Yeah.
But the thing that they managed to do, what not many teams have done, is get behind Ben Pearson a lot. Yesterday, I thought, and then on transition they were very dangerous.
I thought Casey Palmer had a really good game yesterday.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
He was playing as like a false centre mid, so he was just trying to stay behind Ben Pearson. And I thought they broke with a lot of speed. Like Brownell's quicker than he looks.
Yeah.
Simon's obviously quick. Palmer can shift. And I think they made it quite an open game. And obviously in the second half, I don't know what you lads thought of Galley, but I thought he made it really open in their favour.
Yeah, I thought first half he looked okay. Obviously scored the pen, so you sort of like, okay, well I'll give you.
It definitely wasn't one of his best games, was it, Galley?
No.
No, I overhit a couple of passes.
There's been. I'm not going to say more and more because I'm not worried about it being a trend, but there are games occasionally that just don't look like they suit Galley. He's one of those players who seems to go missing in particular types of games, and yesterday was one of those. I think a little bit.
I think it's where the opposition team just plays on transitions, But the thing about their back three was it was like a proper narrow back three. It wasn't like a wide back three where you can get in between the centre backs.
Yeah, they were rarely wider than the 18-yard box.
Yeah, and I think I said to you, Jake, at half time, Barkey was just struggling to find any space.
Yeah, I think, did you suggest moving him out wide and getting him in the gap?
Yeah, but even then, just struggled to really create much. So, well, 2 good teams, I think. 2 teams will be around the top 6. Probably the best team I've seen this season. I thought they were better than Swansea.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought they're probably the best team we played so far this season. I don't think they've not lost since the opening day, I don't think.
No, I think they've got beat by Leeds, didn't they? They've not lost since.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they've not lost since the opener.
They must have drawn quite a few then if they're below us still.
I think 4 wins, 4 draws, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Good team. I think they're a really good team.
Yeah, to be sniffed at. Lee Johnson's done a superb job.
Yeah, he's a similar kind of manager to Neil, isn't he, really? I think they got quite similar concepts as well with how they want to play. And obviously Jake, you don't think all 6 were set pieces, but pretty much 6 out of 6 were from set pieces.
Yeah, pretty much. But
if you class the short corner as not a set piece, then you're a bit weird. But
I'm obviously a bit weird then, but it's come into play, so.
Yeah, but 5.5 out of 6 goals are from set pieces. So that's a bit of a freak in itself, isn't it? Which probably tells you something about the lack of quality in open.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a few of the goals are dubious anyway.
Yeah, I think both of their first 2 would probably have been ruled out on another day.
Their second one, I'm not sure about. I think whoever the Bristol City player is has got himself on the other side of Johnson, and him and Johnson are basically muscling for the ball, and he's pushed Johnson into Rudd. I'm not.
He has pushed him.
Yeah.
A foul by the letter of the law. It's a foul.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Rudd can't stay on the floor there. He has to get up.
No, yeah, it's stupid from Rudd to just sit there and with his arms out like that.
He was almost expecting a free kick because of their first goal.
I think that's why I think goalkeepers are used to sort of, if there is a touch in the box, they go down, they normally get it. I think that's what he was expecting, but I think he needs to be stronger there.
Yeah, I think he does as well. It's a risky game to play. That Rudd does that a lot.
He's done it quite a few times.
Just expects a free kick.
Yeah, you're not playing your 11 games in the Premier League now, Deck.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then obviously got back into it. 2 penalties. I told you, Jake, at the time, from where I was sitting, I didn't think the first was a pen, but you seem to think it was a clear pen.
I've not seen any replays, so again, I'm not in a position that maybe you three are if you've seen a replay. But from where I was sat, he looked like he was caught.
The guy behind him definitely caught the leg that he was pulling back to shoot.
Yeah, that's how it looked to me.
But I don't know if it was enough for to call it a stonewall penalty. But I mean, it definitely falls into the you've seen them given 65% of the time that happens.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Perfect time to score that.
It's not a surprising decision. And then scoring early second half was important as well.
Yeah, that was 100% a penalty. I don't think there was any questions about that one.
Yeah. At that point, I thought
you expect so much better of someone as experienced as Ashley Williams than.
I don't. No. He's shit.
I've never particularly rated him, but I mean, you don't block across like that, do you?
It was that deep there last season, and he had an absolute nightmare, didn't he? So he's
Was he at Bristol City last season?
No, was that Stoke?
It was Stoke.
Sorry, did I say Bristol City?
Yeah.
No, he said he was deep there.
Oh yeah, it was at Stoke last season.
Yeah. Of course he was, yeah.
When I saw Barkey up front, I thought he'd batter Ashley Williams yesterday, but
it's just a question of getting the ball through.
He was protected by both.
Yeah.
Both centre backs wider of him, but
with a tight back three, you're not going to get him behind very often.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the positions that Barkhuizen would be getting into from a central position.
Yeah, and then obviously when it got back to 2-2, I thought this is like typical Bristol City. Like with a soft centre, we'll go on and win the game. But
I thought we'd go on to win when we scored early second, but
yeah,
I also expected us to concede again quite quickly.
Yeah, I blame Rudd for the third.
That was the pessimist in me.
Like you said though, yesterday it felt like one of them games from last season, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Galley did lose his man for the third one, but.
He was just watching the ball.
He absolutely did. There was no one to blame but Galley. Well, yeah. I don't know. I think Deck could have done a lot better with it.
Rudd could have done a lot better. And still, when your defending player does lose a man like Galley did, you still expect a goalkeeper to make a save from a shot like that.
It wasn't exactly a hard-driven shot. It was a bit of a...
He went down too early. I could see maybe what he was trying to do was hedge his bets, but the problem is
it had already gone between his legs by the time he'd gone down. Anyway.
He's never been good with his feet, Rudd. So
I think when there's an opposition player with a shot from 10 yards out in the box with loads of bodies, it's just one of them, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to put it up there with a howler.
No, I've seen Deck do a lot worse.
Deck's definitely done a lot worse.
Yeah.
Turning him away last season, look no further.
And to be fair, I thought our third was actually a foul from where I was
definitely was.
Well,
definitely was. But any Bristol City fans that are bitching on Twitter about what would have been their winning goal being chalked off, then you need to give your head a wobble because there's absolutely no question that it was a push.
Game probably should have finished 2-2, I would think. On average.
But from my angle, on the town, and I didn't even see the push. But obviously,
on Bauer or Bauer's on Bauer climbing on the back of
their fourth, JJ on Bauer.
No, yeah, it was definitely a push,
and
I've seen that on Twitter in a replay.
Yeah, I've seen it on the replay since, but I think probably a fair. Like watching the 90 minutes, I thought we were lucky to get a point, but I don't know if that was because I thought they were better than I thought they'd be.
I think Bristol City can feel
deserve to win. I think probably they deserve to win. But,
I think
I'm happy with the point because it just was generally quite a poor performance from us.
You can't not be happy with the point really when you're coming back from 2-0 down and then 3-2 down to draw 3-3.
Yeah, there's that as well.
But the confidence it'll give the boys and the fact that we're still unbeaten at home in the league.
What's that? 13 points out of 15 at home, is it?
Yeah. Which is a pretty good return.
It's class, isn't it?
Yeah. Talking of certain players yesterday, we can, unless anyone's got anything else to add on Bristol City.
No.
Nope. And then we can move on to this little section. So for the opening 9 games of the season, I think, Ollie, did you tell me the other day that 20% of the season's gone now?
Well, it's 45 divided by 9, isn't it?
Yeah, my maths is shit, mate. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, it's 20%, I think,
yeah.
Well, if you times 9 by 10, divide it by 2, 45, isn't it? So, pretty much, it's probably like 21 point something percent or 9.
Yes, yeah. Over 20% of the
45,
season's gone.
45 divided by 9 is exactly 5, so it's 20%, yeah.
Yeah, so 20% of the season's gone. We are, what, 5th in the table.
Yeah.
Won 5, drawn 2, lost 2. Joint highest scorers in the division. It's been a good start, a very good start, as you said at the start of the pod. And I think we're all going to differ on this next bit, but standout performers thus far, I think Sean Maguire, for me, he looks back to the player that he was when we signed him. It doesn't look to be any worries of hamstring troubles or anything like that. I think the day of training that he's been dropped, or that he's had dropped for him from his schedule, looks to be working well. But yeah, I mean, I won't go into him too much because I'm in the middle of writing a piece on him. But yeah, I think for me so far he's been one of our best this season, and he's gone under the radar a little bit. Then 2 others for me that I think are worth a mention. Darnell Fisher, as we've already mentioned earlier on, has just been very steady, and I think Josh said in his player ratings piece that went out on the website today that I think we'll very rarely see Fish drop under a 7 in the player ratings this season.
Apart from when Sterling comes to Deepdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a reason that we didn't do that piece after that game.
Yeah.
And then the last one for me, and then I'll open it up to you boys, is Barkey. Arguably playing out of position. And I think he's done well.
Yeah,
I would disagree with that.
Sorry, Dan. What I'd say about Maguire is there was a lot of talk about his hamstrings in summer, but he played pretty much all the second half of last season. So that wasn't really a concern for me. But obviously,
he just looked shot at, didn't he, last season?
Yeah, he just needed a little break. But the one that you've missed out, who I'd say has probably been our best player, has been DJ for me.
Yeah, DJ's superb.
How many games we played? 9 games. I'd say probably in about 5 or 6 has been man of the match for me.
Yeah, I don't really remember him having a poor performance this season.
No. He just looks like a different player to the second half of last season. And obviously, most of his goals, or maybe, has he scored from open play? Or have they all been...
he scored from open play against Stoke, I think.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've all been pens.
Yeah, but obviously it's good having a penalty taker. Well, 2 penalty takers who you can guarantee you're going to score pretty much.
It was nice to see them not argue over it as well when they're both on the pitch.
Yeah, I wondered what was going to happen when we got the second one.
Yeah.
But because Galley's taken 2 in a game before and gone the same way both times, but obviously I'd always trust DJ more.
Newcastle, that one, that.
Was it a Newcastle? Yeah.
Yeah, he said afterwards that it was the only time he's ever taken 2 pens in the same game in his career, I think.
Yeah. But I'd always trust DJ more. I don't know why. I just never think he's going to miss.
Yeah, cool, calm, collected yesterday.
Yeah. But I think physically he's absolutely class.
Yeah, he just never seems to struggle with a situation, DJ.
He
used to be quite comfortable with whatever's going on.
Yeah, I love Alan Brown as well. But like in terms of last season, one of the criticisms that I had was Alan Brown in the number 10 against certain teams at Deepdale. just wasn't working.
Yeah.
DJ, because against Wigan, I think is probably the best example. The cross that he put in for Malt, you'd never get something like that from Brown.
No.
Just, like drifting in the pockets and wide areas. We've seen a lot more of that at Deepdale this season, which is probably why we've got 13 points from 15. But I'd say DJ and then Ben Davis for me as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe both just centre backs together, but Ben Davis is an absolute.
I'd definitely throw Bauer in there.
Yeah, I would as well.
I mean,
them two for me.
Bauer's been such a revelation that I can't believe he was playing in League One last year.
Yeah.
I'd
go as far as agreeing with you there, Dan.
What is he? 27.
He's a good age.
He's
26, 27, but he's a really good age, isn't he?
Yeah. I just mean you'd expect a player of his quality to have been picked up by a bigger side much earlier in his career if he's been that good.
Which, according to Charlton fans, he has been. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously,
I
can't attest to his earlier career, but yeah.
He's just an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
I think
and that's what
he's getting a lot of praise at the minute for his performances, but I think the wider picture, I think he's absolutely what we've missed.
Yeah, I agree.
He's sort of everything Huntington was for us in League One, and all of what Huntington needed to be successful in the Championship.
Yeah, he's a massive upgrade on Hunts, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Basically.
And that complements Ben Davis perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I go as far to say that I can't think of a better pairing in the league at the minute.
Yeah. In terms of the way they play together, the way their styles complement each other, and I mean, you guys know I'm a massive advocate of having a right and left partnership defence.
Oh my, it's important, isn't it?
And that's why I think Bauer and Davis are definitely up there. I mean, I'm not as much of I wouldn't be as au fait with every other defensive regular partnership as Ollie probably would, so I'm not in as good a place to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were well up there with the most effective partnerships in the league. I'm just delighted to have that position sorted because it's been a bit of a problem for a while.
I think you don't even need to look at numbers for that. I think you can just, as Ollie regularly calls it, the eye test. I think just watching them is enough to say, that they quite clearly are.
Yeah.
I think that applies to Bauer in particular, like just watching him. Because he's just an absolute big bastard, isn't he? Like people just can't get. Like, I've not seen him struggle against a striker yet.
No,
I've not seen any striker get the better of him yet.
I think the Brentford game was a perfect example of how they work together as partnership because Brentford, they did play some good football. They were solid in midfield, but as soon as they tried to get into the box, they were just repelled immediately.
Yeah,
and that's what I've been really enjoying about seeing them together.
Who would you say has been better?
Than who?
Overall, overall, I'd probably say Ben Davis because he's probably got his game's probably a little more three-dimensional than Bauer's. Davis is, Bauer is, as we were saying before, a massive upgrade on Huntington in terms of his on-the-ball ability, but Ben Davis is just that extra level of not quite Sean St. Ledger style, but stepping out of defence.
Sean St. Ledger
distribution. Well, Sean St. Ledger's my go-to sort of. I'll just let you get over that, Jake.
I just kicked the chair on my toe. Bollocks. Sorry, yeah, go on.
No, St. Ledger's like my go-to bringing the ball out of defence example. But Davis sort of reminds me of that, the way he can step into the midfield. So the way he's contributed this season to that probably elevates him just above Bauer.
Who have you got down then, Ben? Who's stand out for you?
Yeah, for me, again, it was Bauer. I think between Bauer and Davis, I think judging on this season, I'd just about give it to Bauer. I think for the impact that he's had since coming in, I loved Jordan's story last season, but I think towards the end, the last sort of 5 or 6 games, a few mistakes were creeping into his game. I think that Bauer, I think the game that highlighted it best was probably Birmingham away when he was going up against Djukovic, and Birmingham second half especially were going quite direct for that game.
Yeah,
I think for me, Djukovic probably like one of the best target men in this league, and he was winning absolutely nothing against Bauer. I think I saw a stat as well that Bowers won the most headed clearances in the championship this season with Aidan Flint. I think those two are top two. So
I saw that as well.
Yeah. And that was such a weakness from our game last season. Considering crosses coming into the box, that I think Bowers just made the world of difference in that regard.
I think I saw that list as well, and Ben Davis was, not joint top, but he was down there in like 6th or 7th in the top 10. We're the only team that had 2 centre backs in the top 10 for headed clearances.
Yeah,
I think Ben Davis is actually underrated. On that side of the game, people seem to think he's not the best in the air by any means, but he's more than capable.
I think there is one thing that Bauer has specifically over Davis, and that's probably a goal threat. I don't often see Ben Davis coming for corners thinking we should get this on his noggin.
I think for me, and again, this could be completely wrong.
Bowers more powerful, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ben Davis always comes up.
Need from a centre back, so I wouldn't call it a massive downside to his game.
He always comes up, and for me last season, he always every maybe 3 or 4 games seemed to get half a chance from a corner, but it was always his end product, and I would always put it down to, he's a defender, blah, blah, blah. But then Bowers come in and he scored a goal against, was it Accrington in the pre-season game? Similar sort of thing. Corner in from Gallagher. I think it was Gallagher. And
I think it was,
towered above his defender in a similar manner to yesterday. Well, apart from the fact that he didn't push the Accrington lad and it wasn't a questionable foul, but... Yeah, I think it was one of them that I've always had in my mind that it was always just going to be a matter of time until he scored this season.
Yeah.
And if we continue to perform as well as we have, I won't be surprised if he gets halfway to 10.
Yeah,
his goals this year.
Well, if he goes at the rate he's going, he'll get exactly 5.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, I agree. It's good having that as well because Story never really looked like scoring, did he? And neither did Hunt because Hunt can't get off the ground anymore.
Story pulled a great finish out of his locker away at QPR.
Yeah, actually, that was a very good finish, wasn't it? Yeah, but I think Story scored 1, did he? And Ben Davis scored 1 last season.
Yeah, which considering Story played half the games that Ben Davis did.
Yeah, and I don't think Fisher scored.
He still hasn't scored for us. Even Raff come in and scored more than Fish.
Raff scored 1 already, and I think Hughes scored 3 or 4 last season.
I think Hughes got 3 last season, didn't he?
Yeah, so you'd probably
2 free kicks and the one against Millwall.
Yeah, if you get
volley from the edge of the area.
Yeah.
If you probably want 10-15 goals from your defenders this season. So I think probably had 5 last season. So
anyone to chuck into the mix for standout performers?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered the squad.
Jaden Stockley, best bench player in the league.
Yeah, go on. I'll let you take the floor on this one, Ali.
No, just quickly going back to Bauer. I just can't wait for Bauer against Jordan Hugo.
Ooh.
Whenever that's going to be.
You've whet my appetite already, mate.
It's going to break my heart, though.
That's going to be a serious matchup, that is.
Yeah.
But no, going just on Stockley quickly,
don't have to rush it, mate. Take as long as you want.
How long have you got?
As long as you want. I'm quite happy for you to.
About 6'3". As long as Stockley.
That's not very big for a tree, is it?
No.
By the way, Benny, were you or are you a Stockley fan, or were you nonplussed, or?
I was when he first came in, and then since it sort of dawned on me that he's not like Neil's man, really, is he? Judging by team selections and things like that.
Yeah, I think I had quite a similar trajectory.
I think me and you were the same, weren't we, Dan? To be honest,
I was buzzing when he signed. I thought Hugo replacement right here. He started not slowly, but not obviously.
He's never been not slow down.
Very impressively. I mean, in terms of performances, but I thought, I quite like him. Then it became a sense of, well, he's not the best, but I like him, so I want him to do well, a little bit like Mackinock.
See, that's the thing for me. I never actually, with Potts came in, and I actually genuinely liked him, and he obviously had the performances to match. Stockley, I never thought. I like you, but I wanted him to do well. I didn't mind him as a player, and then I think the second time that I ever met Ollie, he was like, "No, he's shit." Honestly, he was like, "Honestly, watch him. Just watch him. Just single him out in a game and watch him." And for the next 2 or 3 games, I'd spent quite a bit of time doing that he played, and I was like, "Actually, yeah, you're right, Ollie."
You see, that's what I did after you two were like, "No, he's a tree," and I was like, "No, I quite like him. And you're like, "No, sapling," and I was like, "Okay, well, we'll see." And then because I don't watch players as individuals when I watch a game, I don't watch it as analytically as probably either of you two. I don't know how you watch games, Ben.
Yeah, probably the same as you.
Yeah. I'm a bit tactically not unaware, just uncultured, I would say. So it took a while for Stockley's lack of
ability to rub off on you.
Lack
For want of a better phrase.
Lack of usefulness.
It's just physicality.
At this level, I would say, to really dawn on me. But then
then, physicality, fuck me, he's not the best at that, is he? Really? If that's all
what
he's
I mean.
got.
That's what he lacks.
Was it the whole game in the cup that he lost possession?
I was going to mention that.
Times or something.
Yeah, he wasn't good at all.
And do you know what? I think obviously I'm not a big fan of the Nugent signing, but I think he were more in the air yesterday than probably Stockley has in like 9 months.
He looked right when he came on against City, Nugent. I was surprised at how fast he still is.
He can still.
Did he actually look that fast? Because for me on TV, I thought, fuck me, he looks like he's running in treacle.
His legs move fast. His legs move fast. There's a difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Maybe. Rose-tinted glasses.
It looks like he's rapid, but his legs just go too quick.
Like yesterday against Bristol City, he looked all right. Like you said, he came on, he had a good cameo for 20 minutes or so. But watching him on TV against City, I was like, oh, he looks like his legs have gone a bit here.
I honestly just want him to score once and then...
Yeah, I thought it was written in the stars yesterday.
It happened.
I honestly thought it was
going
written
back
in the
to
stars.
Stockley, like, he's just so easy to defend against. I've said this. Like,
It's a one-trick pony, isn't it?
He's just a pony. He's just a
no-trick pony.
Yeah.
He's just pony.
So, and the way that Neil wants to play is so clear this season. Like, we've used Barkey up front, Maguire. We even used Andre Green up front at one stage.
Yeah.
Obviously, Malt came in, and then now Stockley's not even in the 18.
Yeah, I think it's gone in January.
You need mobility. You just need mobility.
The thing with Stockley, though, if it comes to January, you would imagine he'll have a lot of suitors at League 2 level for a loan.
He'll get an easy League 1 move if he's going to go. He'll easily get a League 1 move.
Yeah, probably will. He can score.
He's a good finisher, Stockley.
If Connor Simpson's gone to Accrington at League 1, and we've no idea what he's like really, then
I reckon he's about Garner's level.
I think you're doing Garner a discredit, to be honest.
I mean, Stockley will probably score a lot at League 1 level, but he'll probably get 6 or 7 a season in the Championship.
Yeah, I don't think Stockley will get that this year, to be honest.
Practically the way we've played.
I mean, not if he's not in the 18, but I mean, if he was playing,
exactly.
if he was playing consistently, I think he'd probably scrape it.
Well, was it 3 or 4 last year in half a season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with how Neil, every time we set up a game now, the striker's got a very specific tactical instruction.
Yeah.
And to carry out any instruction, you've just got to be able to move.
And he doesn't.
Even just across the ground, if it's just screening like the centre mid, or pressing onto one of the centre backs, you need to. That's why people like Barkey and Andre Green have been used ahead of him. So people still, even now, always top scorers in the league join top scorers. Join
top scorers with West Brom. Scored 17 goals this season.
Yeah, I still see people saying they want him to start. And there's absolutely.
I just don't see what people that are saying that. I'd love to see what they see for 90 minutes to think Stockley could come in and do a job here, because I've never seen a game this season where I thought Stockley can come in and do a job here.
I've said before, I think there is games where there's room for Stockley.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, but what I'm saying is the games that I have seen this season, I've never once thought this is time for Stockley to come on.
This is what we need.
The only time I thought that was Millwall, and I don't know if he actually came on.
He did, and he was shit.
Did he?
Got boxed.
Did it? I don't remember, but that's the only game I thought like we should go more direct. Because normally when we go direct, it's from deep, and Stockley's useful, but useless from deep. But if you're getting crosses in from wide, like actual crosses, then it might be useful.
If you're attacking the box.
If you're attacking the box, yeah, outside the box, then.
Because I mean, if he gets a chance in the area,
yeah, it looks like he's
a good finisher. But yeah.
Stockley came on against Millwall in the 57th minute, and he got booked 8 minutes later, and the square root of fuck all.
What was the game, Jake, where he came on at half time, I think, and he made 4 passes in the half?
Was
it Hull?
Hull in the cup.
It was Hull in the cup, yeah.
Because then I don't think he's barely been seen since then.
No, even against Bradford, I went to Bradford away and he was shocking then.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, he didn't take his chance.
Yeah, I don't know if
that's the thing. That was his chance.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and I think he did more damage. I think he got in the way of an Andre Green shot that looked destined for the top corner, and it just went fucking nowhere. It rebounded off his tree head and went somewhere.
It's called the branches, Jake.
No, tree head, Dan. But yeah, I think just moving away from Stockley, and obviously we've mentioned we're joint top scorers in the league this season. I think just on that, it's really good for me that we're seeing the goals spread around a lot more as well.
Yeah.
Galley's got 2, DJ's got 5, Maguire's got 3 or 4, Barkey's got a couple, Raf's got 1, Bauer's got 1. So you're not looking. I don't think I'm ever going to watch a game thinking, "Oh, we're going to struggle to score today," or it's going to be a 0-0.
Yeah, no.
100%. That was similar to last season, I think, as well. Yeah. To a lesser extent last season, because side on Robinson and Brown, but we still had players chipping in.
I think that was an issue we highlighted in the summer, wasn't it? With Robinson going, with him and Brown combined last year, I think they contributed to over a quarter of our goals between them.
Yeah.
If not more.
They contributed to about 22 between them.
22, 23 plus assists. And I think each of them had 5, 6, 7 assists each. But yeah, I think unless either of you boys have got anything else to add, then we can call that a podcast, and you can go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings.
That's good.
Sweet. Yeah, so thanks for listening to episode 16 of the From the Finney podcast. Apologies that it's coming to you a bit later than usual, but hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, if you could like, share, retweet, tell your friends, your family, anyone you see in the street, that'd be appreciated. We are
random people and tell them to listen to a podcast.
No, do absolutely do.
Yeah, do.
We are pretty much available on the vast majority of streaming platforms now. So any of them that you can follow us on or subscribe to us on, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so on, would appreciate it if you could do that. We're also now on YouTube. The latest episode of the pod will be going up pretty much a day after, I reckon, each episode's released on the streaming platforms. So if you prefer to use YouTube to listen to your podcasts or watch your podcasts, not that there's much to watch in ours, but yeah, you can have it on in the background, then just head over to From the Finney at YouTube and subscribe to us on there. And we're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just search From the Finney and just say hello to us. And if you liked what Ben had to say, thank you for coming on, Ben. Then you can follow him on Twitter. He's just at PNEBenHD, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to come on the podcast next month, drop us a message on Twitter or Facebook and we can work something out. And yeah, thanks again for listening. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.
Thanks for coming on, Ben. Nice.
Yeah. In fact, Ben, do you want to give your YouTube channel a bit of a shout out?
Yeah, so it's just Ben HD on YouTube, regular championship content if you're into that sort of stuff.
There we go. Go and give him a sub, I think the YouTubers call it. Yeah, right. Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
Nice one.
See you later.